oh god, the latency on the stream. It's so weird, like, because like I see what I did like
Oh,
half
I
a
hear
minute
you.
ago when I look at it.
Yeah, no,
Oh
it
my
works.
god. Yeah.
Okay. So to redo the whole thing, then we're going to go back and then go forward. No, we're just gonna go. Hello, everybody. We have just
Hi.
introduced everything, but we'll have to do it again because nobody could hear anything. And even though there's nobody here, it's for the VODs and for us, I guess, in the future. So, Ben, you are a new player joining us. You are 19 years of age. You are.
You know that. Roll me.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself again and your character just very shortly.
I'm Ben. I'm a 22-year-old business student over in the US. Yeah, I have to add that one in there now. I've been playing D&D for 3 years, almost exclusively under Tim. I'm going to enjoy myself a bit of a charlatan rogue, gentleman, older nature. And I'm just here to roll some dice, have some fun, and, create problems Tim didn't think of.
Nice. And second new person that is joining us for this campaign is Jon.
Hi, I'm Jon. I'm an architecture student from Slovenia. I am 23. This is the first streamed game I've ever been a part of, so let's hope it goes well. And I'm playing Oscar, let's call him a party boy monk.
And returning is, of course, Sarah,
Yay.
a woman this time, not having a dick to flap around.
Very well. You did tell me to go out of my comfort zone, so I'm a woman now. I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing a. Well, she's 20-ish years, a rogue, and yeah, her name is Violet.
Yep. And also returning from last campaign is Simon.
Hello. So I will be. Should I? I guess yeah. So I'm a process engineer from Sweden. 31 years old. For those who haven't remembered it from last time. But yeah, I will be playing a clumsy cleric, and will hopefully be able to work a bit with the group and come up with shenanigans. So yeah.
Yeah. And of course, returning as the destroyer of fates and hopes, we have me, of course.
Yay!
There has been a few changes, mainly actually to the map in between the games. There will be different locations and also added new intrigue around the Acorn Sea for hopefully this campaign. We're also moving away from the heroicness of last campaign, where we played a group that was trying to more or less save the world from imminent destruction when the material plane and the Shadowfell merged together. But after a trip back in time and mean goblins, we ended that campaign and are now going to be focusing a lot more on grey morality. It is going to be a lot of different choices in comparison to last game. We're also going to actually be able to do some sneaky business in comparison to last game as well, where players just wandered forward, always, at all times, never stopping to question why. Maybe now we're gonna have a bit of difference to that. So the game itself is going to be set mainly around Vale, unless the players decide to fuck off and go somewhere different. But it is hopefully going to be centered around guilt and the advancing of your own political power inside Vale for different reasons. And we're going to follow the players as they go from nothing to whatever their dreams may take them. Okay. It has been about 5 years since the end of last campaign, and When we left off, there was still a lot of trouble in the northeastern regions between the Holy Darien Dominion and the Kingdom of Ortswick. There was a war still waging. That war has ended, and now the Holy Darien Dominion, due to the death of Sultan Sabrahan VII, has been plunged into civil war. There is not outright wars at the moment, but the nobles are battling between each other to gain the seat of power. And because there has been no legal heirs left behind by the Sultan, nobody is certain what to do. So it's a very unstable region at the moment. The northern Ortswickian provinces or province has been stabilized a bit with the coronation of Christoph Gravenroith to the Prince of Ballora. Now, even so, there are still a lot of problems and struggles within Ortwick itself, and outside of that, the Commonwealth is always trying to undermine the neighboring nations and are unfortunately succeeding by it and slowly subjugating Ashrite back into their empire as the Ortwick has been weakened. Now, when we start, our characters are all in prison. And I would like an explanation as to why Oscar is currently imprisoned.
Well, you see, I have a problem with, I guess you'd say, authority. The issue is they're all corrupt bastards, and maybe I was a bit loud about it yesterday. Got a bit drunk. Day drunk. Don't do that too often, but well, caused a bit of a stir. I think the sentence is called disturbing the peace, but as far as I'm concerned, peace has been long forgotten. So now I'm here with nary a coin on my person.
Okay. Violet. Oh,
Violet,
shit.
yeah.
My screen went off, and thus the entire thing. Well, you can go ahead, meanwhile, Violet. Why are you in prison?
Well, trying to make some coin. I decided to come into the city and be very well, show my particular skills, but maybe I didn't think that one through too much, so I kind of rushed in and tried to take down a certain somebody who was escaping the law or something of the sort. I don't really know. It's, whatever. So I started beating up this person, and yeah, they don't like that here. Seems like. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. And then Charles and Joshua, you two went to the cells together. Could you tell me why?
Well, Uncle Charles, how did we end up here in this mess?
Well, you see, my bro Joshua and I, we were having a little bit of light fun in the park. Nobleman, little too much to drink, little too heavy purse on his hip. We thought we would, talk him up a bit, maybe relieve him of some of the weight, but you know how it is, the weather, old fingers and aches, and it would appear quite a few slipped to the ground, and
And
we were
misunderstanding,
had.
of course.
It
It happens all the
course.
time.
It's so hard to explain that we're just trying to help him. People don't understand these days.
The scary thing about your apprehension is that you're not entirely certain as to how you were apprehended or by who. The only thing that you do remember is that you were doing something that generally isn't considered nice. And the next thing you know is that you wake up in a cell. This cell is maybe 8 by 8 feet. On one end, there is a large cast iron door with a single slit at the top and one at the bottom to put in trays of food. On the opposite end of this room, at the very roof, is a maybe 10 by 3-inch slit with iron bars that is letting some light in. Due to the warm nature of spring down here in Vale, you're not too bothered, even though you are stripped down into almost nothing on your bodies. And as you all wake up, you find yourselves surrounded by people that you might already know. The only people in this room are currently the four of you.
Well, Charles, we seem to have gotten stuck in a bit of bother.
Well, nothing we haven't. You've been in before. Don't tell Conrad, by the way.
No, of course not. It'll strictly be between us. But a minute? Is that you, Oscar?
Joshua?
You look a lot different without your clothes on, but, well, can't say much different myself. How are you? Well, under the
You know
circumstances.
him.
I
Well,
think you
yes,
can guess how I am.
Hmm?
I said I think you can guess how I am. Oh,
Ah,
how the
yes.
hell did you end up here?
Well, I believe was similar to last time for you and me almost, but a bit more bold and, well, I think more planned.
Ah, one of those kind of days then.
Aye, as it happens, of course. Oh yeah, sorry, I met him in I don't remember the establishment's name, but somewhere such in Melora. You know, one of the senior places. We had, fun and drink, festive spirits, and it led to some misunderstandings. And well, I think we did
I think
pretty
that's
well.
calling it mildly.
Ah,
We did have lots of fun though.
it was a good time. I know we do remember it well.
You can run like a damn rabbit, you rascal.
Aye, but it wasn't fast enough. Those bloody guards, they always know the best escape routes.
Only, sir, reminding me of my younger years, Joshua. Not a surprise to hear these things.
Of course.
Pleasure to meet you, Oscar. I believe you said your name was. I've had my own fair share of misunderstandings. It's how it is. Pleasure to meet you, Charles Stanworth. Extends his arm.
Pleasure.
So look
Shakes
around
your
a bit.
arm.
Yeah. There's one more. Hello there. You?
Now,
Milady?
could you also describe how you look, Sarah? Without
Okay.
most of your gears as well.
Okay.
So just
Yeah. All right. So I have like very, very long hair. Usually it's in a braid. I would say that it's still there, but it might be very tousled and, bushy. I have a very arguably pretty, really beautiful face. Really beautiful. Very feminine. With like soft features and all of that. And well, the most prominent thing would be the hair is colored in different shapes of purple and violet and things like that. So yeah.
okay. And the person talking, currently being Josh, how do you look?
Pretty skinny in general. Like there's not a lot of excess, and not muscular as well. Pretty long black hair. Not that clean at the moment. And almost like slick and greasy. Like he's trying to like get it to be better, like and put it in place, but it just sort of doesn't want to go. Pretty long face, sort of like not hollow necessarily, but a bit skeleton-like, I guess. More like very like not a lot of excess fat or anything in his face. Long and relatively kind eyes, but a bit weary, like lines of age sort of starting to show. Yeah.
And Charles.
You would see an older gentleman with deeply silvered hair, with a little bit of color still left in his facial hair, and some deep lines of just stress and age kind of over his face. You would see his hair, well, kind of almost looking like it was kempt. Like, you know, when you go without, like, you get a fresh haircut, and then after a couple of days, it just starts looking really bad unless you take care of it. It's kind of like that. It has now mud in it. There's some dirt and smears on his face. What little clothes and things he does have left, you can see are very muddied and dirtied on the edges, kind of from sleeping on the streets and things like that. But there's still a little bit of an air about him, and there's still almost a niceness to the clothes, even though they're, you know, filthy and kind of destroyed.
And Oscar.
Oscar is thin, to say the least. Like, there's not a lot of muscle on him, but what is there is, like, clearly very defined and very well trained. So you might guess that he might not pack a strong punch, but he's gonna be dodging shit left and right. Uh, his hair is black in a long single braid that goes down his back to about midway down his back. A goatee, mustache. Doesn't look too remarkable other than that.
Just so that you are aware, when you're giving the DM a long braid to work with, there is definitely enemies that's going to be pulling that.
Oh,
No,
he's looking forward to it.
Also, Simon, I'm noticing that on your sheet the HP isn't put in.
Oh, sorry.
And there might be another few things I'm not certain, but
yeah. I'll
please
fix that.
update. Okay, so we're going back to having Joshua kind of inquire to who the heck is standing in the corner, and what's the response?
Sup?
Well, we're stuck in a cell, it seems.
How do you do?
You're welcome, Tim.
Lady, a few words, are we?
He killed the DM. Oh no. Is that you, Charles? Yeah, of course it is.
You know this lady.
Well, I'm gonna kind of get a closer look.
Yeah. Don't get creepy now.
I may have. I've met a lot of people. Vaguely familiar. Can I make an int check to see if I remember Tim?
No, you do remember. I mean,
I would remember because this.
yes, you would.
Okay. Right. I believe the name was, yes.
There we go.
Been
Yeah.
quite a few years. I haven't spoken in quite a minute.
Yeah. So what about you? And I point to Oscar. Who are you?
Me? What about me?
Yeah, who are you?
Oscar.
Are you interesting? Oh, Oscar.
Oscar McShock, if you must know. Interesting. I wouldn't say I'm boring, if that's what you mean. Wouldn't call myself interesting the way you might think, though.
Yeah. Cool. So why are you guys here?
Well, I believe he just said, but you know, misunderstandings.
Oh, I didn't
There
listen.
were misunderstandings as they were, you know.
I was about a bit vocal about my dislike of certain nobility.
Yes, well, you do have to be careful with that one. Wrong slipper and the wrong people, and you'll end up here.
Clearly.
To fix the music, by the way, for you who might not have done it yet, underneath the audio playlists at the top, you should be able to manage the noise coming out and coming in so that you can set it to a comfortable level.
I believe the bot is...
The bot is muted because I'm moving on to having sound in Foundry for a moment.
It's under the Foundry music note on
Yep.
the top widgets.
Thank you.
Vidguts. So, you guys, this isn't the first bout with the law that you've had. Seldomly, though, you're put in prison. Like, this cell right here is very reinforced. The door looks, at a quick glance, to be probably a foot thick. The bars, looking out from the little slit, you see black walls on the other side. There's only one place in Vale which houses a black building, which is the Ebony Castle. And the Ebony Castle is the king's castle. Why would you be put in his dungeon?
Looks like you fucked up this time, Charles.
Fucked up. Didn't know. Slip of the fingers. I still have all 10 of them, so it's not fuck up just yet. I'll be out of here in no time.
Okay, yeah, of course.
No, we'll be out of here in no time.
You're muted, Simon.
He has connections. We have to be careful. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right.
Maybe I was a bit too loud about my dislike of nobles.
Do you remember
Mention the
exactly
king by name, though.
which noble you said? I really do hope it wasn't the king.
I don't think it was.
Or
My
anything
memory is not
comes.
that great. I was quite drunk.
Oh, yeah. Well, no time like the present, at least.
What do you know about this king, by the way? What's up with the king? Just, you know.
You could all roll me a history check.
Would I possibly have advantage on it, having a little bit of affluence in the city of maybe mingling with people who... Oh, there's the crit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, this is personal knowledge, but no, I would say that, like, unless you've studied things, it's very much, like, yeah. Try to. Okay.
That's about right, yep.
For knowledge of Joshua and also for Charles, the king is now nearing the middle 40s. His name is Herman Blutgart and has been reigning since his 20s. And his father and father before him has been very set on one thing, which is killing of goblins who are in their territory and ogres and just expanding the empire. Instead of focusing like his predecessors, Herman has tried to solidify the ground of, or the foundation of the empire, making sure that, you know, people who are working on the farms and working the lowest jobs and making sure that, you know, the empire is going around has enough to live as well, and has implemented quite a lot of laws that the nobility aren't very happy about, and that has created some discord between the larger families within, and also why there has been most likely a coup where Herman's brother Karl was killed in Bellora now 5 years ago. And for a year or so, Bellora was very weakened, and the northern provinces, it was uncertain who the crown was going to fall to. But then Christoph kind of stood up, and it's been slowly getting better since. However, there is many enemies around, and the king doesn't have enough allies to kind of do anything about it. So he's working, like he's swimming against the current, where almost all the nobles within the empire really doesn't want him to do the things that he's doing, but he's just kind of saying fuck it and doing it anyway, trying to make for a better place for those that have nothing.
Well, the king doesn't necessarily have a lot of friends around, and I would assume he doesn't have that many friends that would require punishment for what I mean, the misunderstanding we did. I don't know.
Oh.
There's a lot of different. I mean, I'm not really in the know, but word is that
Yeah.
there's a lot of what's the word? Discontent among the different nobles. You know, they're squabbling and all that.
Well, the food for the peasantry policy wasn't exactly
Yes.
popular. I mean, it's gotten us our pieces of bread, but I would wager this is probably not the king and one of the nobles exercising some influence. In which case, that's significantly worse for us, by the way, just so
Yeah,
everybody here
yes.
knows. But at least it's not up the food chain, if you will.
No, no.
Is he single? I don't remember.
Yes, he is now. The queen died, unfortunately. He has
Do I know that?
with a 5. That is probably the only thing that you've put at mine that he's single. Sure.
Good. Good. I
That's
looked
a
to the others
mood.
and just like, right. Yep. Well, I know why I'm here, but that's cool.
Well,
Well, you
Why
certainly
you
are a
here?
catch, if you know what I mean.
I
said the
like
king
that.
doesn't.
Joshua, you
Yes.
don't take after your father's way.
You said the king doesn't have many friends, correct?
Yes. Well, I mean, friends. He's very new, and he's not doing a lot of things they like. And
Yeah.
most nobles, most everyone likes when things are as they are. And like Charles said, the new law and all this faffing about making it all equal for everyone, it's put a strain on that relationship, from what I understand. Again, I'm not necessarily in the know, but rumors spread and you hear things.
Probably, just a little bit of the older generation just clinging on to what they think is right and wrong. Fuck
Yeah.
them.
Well,
Yeah.
Nobles
Yeah.
would like to hang on to their money. They appreciate it. I mean, if you can go around and doing a favor and helping them adjust to having less money over the last few weeks and such, really, I'm doing the kingdom a favor, helping all of the nobility adjust. But some don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all true, then I don't see a reason why I should be in prison at all.
Yeah, well, I just told
Then
you I'm
again,
stealing money from nobles. I feel like there's probably a pretty good reason somebody wants me in here.
Huh.
Let's hope it's not one of them.
I mean, it might be. It could be argued that maybe he wants a word with us
with us,
potentially. Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
I doubt that, in all honesty.
Yes.
Though then again, if he doesn't have many friends, he could be getting paranoid. Maybe perhaps he sees enemies everywhere. Wouldn't be the first one.
No. I don't.
As you're talking about this,
Yeah.
Joshua, sorry, because you haven't put in the proficiencies. God damn you,
Oh, sorry.
Simon.
Yeah, I'm
What?
talking. I don't want to not talk.
Do you have perception proficiency, because that matters?
No.
Okay, then Oscar, you're the one that hear from across the hall, or across the thick door at least, some quiet sobbing and feet moving with probably what is chains stuck to them.
Shut up, you lot. I think I hear something.
Is the white coats
Oh.
coming?
Sobbing? Chains?
Imagine
How-
that.
DM, how much light do we have in this cell?
Almost nothing.
Well, can anyone see perhaps across the way? I think that's where it's coming from.
Sure. I'll move
At
up
the
and
same time, Oscar's gonna be moving closer to that slit, so
Sure.
the only source of light.
Yeah, the door is compact iron. There is nowhere for you to see out or through.
Perhaps someone should yell. Perhaps whoever's sobbing can hear us. Any volunteers?
Hey!
Well, yeah.
Have you yell out and then there's nothing.
They probably want to be left alone. Yeah, I mean, do we really want to call more attention to ourselves? We still don't know why we're here, and
Well, maybe he could shed some light on his predicament, and we would know where we are and what he did, and I mean, we're not crying, so obviously he's in a worse situation than we are. But still, nice to
You
know.
hear the closing of a door with a slam. And then the crying is gone and feet moving gone as well.
Sort of like
That is
push up the
not a
clothing
good
as much as possible
sign.
to like look nice.
That does not bode well for us. DM,
so
what
scared.
equipment are we actually left with? Do we have like,
Underpants.
anything at all?
Oh, underpants.
No. Okay.
It,
I mean, why are you guys so scared? I don't see the issue.
I can't say I've been in many dungeons, and I'd like to keep that number to a minimum.
Yeah, you just don't piss off the wrong people, right?
Yes, I suppose.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience. How many people have you pissed off?
Maybe a couple.
How many is a couple?
I don't know, 200 maybe? I don't know.
Jesus criminy. Ha!
You know,
And here thought I was...
I gotta show myself. That's basically what it is about, Yeah.
Fair enough, I suppose. If that's your business,
Yeah.
go forth and
Oh,
prosper.
no, not like that. But I promise you I would be amazing at that. Yes. Maybe I should try that. No, I'm gonna save myself for the king. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Thank you.
Go forth and be merry is what I say.
Don't think we were summoned here for marital advice for the king.
I also feel like you need a shower before he lets you within 2 leagues of him. I can smell you from here.
I don't think I can smell any of you. That's because I'm smelling.
Yeah.
Look for a
Still
bucket
gross.
with water.
you are indeed a smelly bunch of people. And as conversation kind of dies out, again, dawns upon you, like, you don't know how you ended up here. And your offenses shouldn't be this harsh. And suddenly you hear the door open again. And you hear footsteps. And suddenly you hear a lock being unlocked, and then the slit is removed. And into the room looks a pair of dark blue eyes. Just looks for a moment.
What's up?
Reading my back.
See that you're awake.
Looking back, just,
That's good.
Yeah. It's real
why
good.
are we here?
Hello. I believe there was a misunderstanding. I'm not supposed to be in here. If
Yes,
you would
stay with me.
kindly direct us to the proper channels so that we
Charles
can get your whole mess
and
stayed
Joshua.
clean.
Section
yes.
1, paragraph 2. Stealing or defrauding members of the royal family and or the extended royal family.
Family.
Punishable by death.
Oh, dear.
Isn't it alleged? How did he...
June.
Alleged.
June. Oscar. Section 1, paragraph 3. Spreading discontent and or discord about the crown. And section 1, paragraph 4, sermonizing blasphemous views in direct conflict with the crown. Punishable by death. Violet. Section 3, paragraph 8. Attacking, capturing, or worse to humans in the kingdom of Altwick without the correct documentation granted by the clerical or monarchical authorities. Punishable by death.
Wait. To be fair, I do have
You
the
have
right
been
papers.
read your offenses.
That is some right bullshit right there.
Yeah.
But
I
can
mean,
we issue an appeal for this? This seems like a very quick process. Surely we must be heard, given a
Yeah.
chance to defend ourselves.
He closes the slit,
hey, come on.
Hello?
and then you see how the food part is opened, and 8 manacles are tossed in, all of them with chains interlinking each other. Your process for appeal has been accepted. Put these on, and we'll proceed to judge immediately.
Lawyer, surely there's.
Now,
Defend ourselves.
I sneak over to to Charles and just under my breath like what does all this shit mean?
It means
Is it a trial?
trial.
What's
If you want to call it
What's an
that.
appeal? What's the fucking
Basically, we're going to go before a judge and tell him that it's bullshit, and he's going to say too bad, and maybe we'll die. So
No. You got
I'm
this.
going to try to get out of here if I can with Joshua.
Yeah.
Best of luck, and
Oh, yeah, you
hopefully stay
too.
on the other side. I don't
Mm.
want to be caught on the other end of this trial.
Well, at
Thank
least
you,
we're on the
and
same
please don't get in my
page.
way.
Joshua just
Oh.
starts putting on the manacles,
Yep.
very very nice. Appeal very quickly. Very efficient.
Yeah, Oscar already has his manacles on.
Are these magical manacles?
you don't know.
What happened?
I'll
no.
also put them on. I'm
Yep.
gonna try to do the okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to kind of get it ready with my thumb of where the manacles are, where you can kind of dislocate your thumb and like pull your hands out if you need to. So when I'm putting them on, I'm gonna kind of get them in a way that my thumbs aren't
So
locked, that I can do that.
these are, when you put them on, like, so these are perfectly, what do you call it, like those very polished steel. There's a good word for it. It's like
Sheened. Oh my God.
I can't
Stainless?
remember it. Stainless, thank you, that's what, stainless steel. And when you put them just a tiny bit, they suddenly just clasp onto you, and they sit extremely tight, as if though they're a part of your hand almost. But like all blood is flowing and it's not hurting. It's just like they put on and you are stuck.
Okay.
When I see the
How-
others having that, I'll just like roll my eyes and well, I'm just gonna make sure that you guys you're into some pretty weird shit, but if that's what he wants, then sure, I'll do that. Yeah, I'm down.
I like
How
that
long
Sarah
is
doesn't
the
like playing
chain
the
can-
character already. How long it is?
What?
No,
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
long
I
is
can
the
I
chain
can see like
connecting?
how you're giggling at the character already and like feeling out of your comfort zone. You have between your hands maybe 10 inches, between your feet maybe 30 inches to be able to walk.
That's long enough for a garrote. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we're done.
You see how the slit opens and then closes, and you hear click, 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 and the door opens into a 4 feet wide corridor lit by probably what is only a single torch. The man steps out of the way. Follow me.
Yeah, I'll push forward.
Sure, you start walking, and when the others
Oscar is gonna
aren't
get-
in sync, you fall on your face.
Oscar's gonna get as close to the torch as he can, like without getting like too close where he'd.
So you don't
Text
see
it.
the origin of it. It's just like the hall is not illuminated. You're still in the room, and then the door has opened into the corridor, and you can see something is illuminating it, but you don't know what.
So
Is
we're
the guard
connected?
standing in relation to the door in the corridor?
He left the doorway and just said, "Come now," and walked to, if you're
And
looking at it, to the
walking.
right.
Yeah, well, in that case, Oscar is leaving the room.
Are we connected, all of us?
You are all connected. That's the thing.
Oh,
Mm.
who's first?
What's the order?
Yeah.
Violet's
Yeah.
first.
Good.
Joshua, then Oscar, and last Charles.
I was gonna try and be like next to Charles, but I guess it's like a link that's already decided. Like,
It was just the way that you put it on.
Was the crying that we heard to the left or to the right of the cell?
You don't know. It wasn't you that heard it. It was Oscar.
It was me.
Okay.
I am asking that question.
You heard it moving to the right, towards where he went.
Okay.
When I pass the guard, I'll just,
You're not passing the guard. So if you go out,
Yeah.
and then you can't all be in the corridor at the same time, like next to each other. So you look to the right and you see that he has opened another door and walked out into what looks to be more of a normal illuminated room. And then if you guys are walking after him, then you'll notice.
Shimmy,
yeah. Go ahead.
Shimmy up behind Violet and like like to help ease the process.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
same
door
here.
Keep your eyes down.
closes as Charles steps out of the room, and behind you, Charles, is a striking woman in her late 20s, early 30s, with side cuts, blonde hair kind of falling back on her shoulder, and piercing green eyes, very bulky and like power almost just seeping out of her presence. And you feel a little bit intimidated, even though it's not rational, by just being close to her. And she just looks and kind of just motions with her head for you to walk.
Flasher smiled. Keep walking.
Yep. You all come out in an octagonal room. Just another 2 doors, decently interior, but you can see that on the ground there's been quite a few feet walking through here, and dirty ones as well. As you follow in their footsteps over to one of the other doors, the man in front opens it, steps through, and when you come in, you find yourselves in a courtroom. It is a rather large one, maybe 100 by 200 feet, several rows of wooden benches. You even have the like audience stands on top, so you can have like either guards sitting up there with crossbows or powerful people. But at the moment, there's only 2 people in this large room. Sitting at the very end in a large chair behind, very typical desk, is a judge, clad in their very black and white with weird ass wigs, because it's very funny with how the English are doing it, and I think we're going to do the same. You see sitting next to them is what looks to be a scribe. You are all led or walked forward towards the judge. He looks down on you, looks to the woman at the back, and the woman, because none of you are watching, does or doesn't do anything, and then the judge looks back to you.
I'll look to the judge and the people and just try to get my flirt
Sure.
on, I guess.
He looks at you and then, just without, spending any extra time, looks at the next person and the next person. My name is Judge Hamilton Westforter, and I will be the one listening to your appeal today. The man walks up and hands him a few documents. Violet, and I'm assuming he looks over to the woman. Do not speak unless asked to spoke. I simply said your name and looked at you. I see here that you have been sentenced with the Section 3, Paragraph 8. And you see him turn around, look at a couple of books, and you see them nicely ordered and everything. And then at the furthest left, there's this old ass large book, which looks like it's almost destroyed. He takes it out and puts it very gently, opens it, and it's you can hear the of the binder as it opens, and you can smell the old moth almost from the papers. Section 3, Paragraph 8. Yes, attacking, capturing, or worse, killing, but maiming to humans in the kingdom of Altwick without the correct documentation given by the clerical or monarchical authorities which is translated to bounty hunting today's,
Oh.
punishable by death. Charles and Joshua, he looks to raise your hands, please.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. And Charles, thank you. Section 1, he turns back the pages. Paragraph 2, stealing or defrauding members of the royal family or extended royal family, punishable by death. And the man kind of next to him, yes, it was Lord William Plutgart, the third cousin of his fourth mother's parents' cousin. And kind of nods. He looks to you. And then it leaves Oscar. 2 offenses. Section 1, paragraph 3, spreading discord and discontent about the crown. And then the next paragraph, same section, sermonizing blasphemous views in direct conflict with the crown. Also punishable by death. So, I'm assuming that you have a few arguments as to why I should change your verdicts. Let me hear them.
Who wants to start?
Well, I mean, first of all, I don't think that that's fair because I actually do have the proper documentation.
Was it the king that gave it to you?
Oh no, but I was trying to get to him.
Was it one of the heads of the churches? The 9 original churches?
Yeah.
And why then did you not have documentation on you as is listed in section 3, paragraph 9? Documentation needs to be held on your person.
I know. Yeah. So here's the bummer. It was raining.
Overruled.
What? I'm not done.
Lying in front of an official judge of the Altwickian court, punishable by 15 years of service within either the military or the miners. But since you have here accounts that are worse than that, your death sentence stands.
No.
If you continue, you will be gagged.
Well, But how am I supposed to defend my case if I can't talk?
Lying is not defending your
lying.
case. You have not been granted the right permits. Good.
May I ask how you know that she hasn't been granted the permit?
You see him sigh as he turns around, walks down the steps. He's a rather short man, maybe 5'6" or something, walks out into another room, comes back with what is 10 books, rather small, not too big. He puts them on and he opens them to the last logs. Within the past 10 years, no permits within the name of... And he looks to you, kind of like assuming to say your name or not, but he just looks at you. And then, going past another 10 years, no such permit has been given. And then the person hasn't been born, which means I don't need to go further back. No permits, bounty hunting, death.
But, to
Gag
be fair,
her. And the woman walks up and suddenly you just...
No!
You get a cloth in your mouth, tied hard behind your head. Now, next...
Should we do it now, or should we wait for until him and maybe it's easier?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's good. Just looking at Oscar like, yeah, go ahead.
I'm in the back.
Yeah, I'm going to be next. Very well. You claim my charges are speaking against the crown and inciting, violence?
Just one moment, and he looks to the scribe, and the scribe just nods, and he pulls up a small cube. And She puts
Okay.
the cube onto the stand she's sitting on, and then snaps her hand. The cube floats up maybe a foot and a half, and suddenly you guys hear a very drunk Oscar talking yesterday. Every single word that he said.
As it goes on, you
Okay.
just see Charles like wincing of like, oh, that is really bad.
They
The
really
thing
caught him in
is,
it.
Oscar's kind of smiling the more he hears,
Yeah, sure.
because he hasn't said anything against the king.
Well,
He has said a lot about the nobility, though.
that is counting the king. King is nobility as well.
Fair.
Fair.
He's not smart enough to know that, I don't think.
So
Like,
I think it ends, and then you just see, like, the judge sees you smiling. So you are talking about discord about nobility. King is nobility as well.
To be fair, that might be a semantics issue. I genuinely have nothing against the king. In fact, I applaud his, well,
Sure.
I'd say revolutionary ideas. I think caring for your subjects is indeed a noble thing. My, let's say, drunken rambling was directed at
The
the
old
other nobles.
translation of crown is state and or government, encompassing all nobility, meaning that you are still falling under this category. We have proof, and you have nothing to say against it. Thus, you will be sentenced to death. He looks to the last three of you, or two of you.
Your Honor, how are you?
Yes.
The first point that I would like to make, to clarify, you said it was defrauding nobility, correct?
Did you or did you not steal the purse of one Lord William Brutgart yesterday?
If you consider stealing the purse, draining him of his money in a fair game of chance among the, Park Lane, then we would have different ideas. But defrauding, as my
He
understanding,
looks to the
is
scribe.
with intent. Would
He
you
knew
be
the
able
risks
to
he was involved
prove
in.
to the court that there is an intent here
Bring up the
to-
evidence against these two.
systematically target Mr.
had evidence.
She pulls up a small mirror and walks up and puts it in the middle. And then she steps back, snaps, and suddenly you see a scene stealing this nobleman's pouch.
He asked us to hold on to it for him. He was too drunk.
Stealing, defrauding members of the royal family or the extended royal family is punishable by death. Now, he slams his hammer into the very beautiful thunk noise. You have all been sentenced as your original sentences, no more appeals. Your verdicts have been quickly processed and will be done with, he looks to an hourglass in the back, in 15 minutes. Your death will be done by hanging.
Is
Well,
the
shit.
where's the woman that was standing behind
She's
us?
still standing behind you.
How far away?
Not far. Maybe 8 foot, 9 foot.
How much slack is there between our chains?
Not a lot. Like, she sees you looking at her and trying
and
to
I'm very
calculate
clearly
something.
furious.
And she walks up to you, very close to you, taunting you, like, do it.
I'm punching her.
Sure, punch her.
Can I do it too?
I think
No,
it would
we're not
be
connected,
straight. Yeah, so you have disadvantage if, like, even moving your limbs here.
How do I
Him
make
or
an
me?
unarmed strike in Foundry?
Oh, you haven't. Okay, so we haven't set that up for you. So an unarmed strike will have to create one. So if you go to inventory,
Yep.
And weapons, if you click add,
Yep.
and then you open it,
Mm-hmm.
and then click details.
There's
At the top, you have description, details, effect, and better rolls after you have opened it.
It just says new weapon, and when I click it, it just...
Okay, so at the right side of that, underneath,
there's
when you've
edit.
added it, yes, click edit.
Yeah.
And then you see new weapon, simple
Yep,
melee,
yeah.
and details.
Yep.
Click that you're proficient with it.
Proficient. Yep.
And then at the bottom, change the weapon attack action type to melee weapon attack.
Yep.
And when that is done, you don't have to. So what you can do to the attack roll bonus?
Dexterity, attack roll bonus.
It's nothing because you're proficient with it. And then the damage formula is you have to click on the plus there.
Yep.
And then you write 1d4 and then bludgeoning at the end. And you probably... sorry, we're going to add the plus dex in here as well. But we'll do that later. So we'll add the dex in a bit.
Sure. Can I roll a dex save here? Because he's directly attached to me,
Yeah,
right?
I think
So
you
when
will...
he punches
yeah.
this guard, this is
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
I'm gonna
fucking
tug on
pull
all
me
your
forward,
chains.
and I
Yeah.
want to see if I just face plant onto him.
So what you do when you roll with disadvantage is you hold control. Now, so you hold control, and then on the left side,
yeah.
you just roll it.
How do I save all of this that I've just changed?
When you change, just click close.
Just close it.
Mhm.
Okay. There we go. And control and click, right?
Yep. Control and click on the left side where you see the dice.
Yeah, roll.
Yep.
1D and a 1. First roll of the
There you
campaign.
go.
Not bad.
Yep.
That's a 15.
15. I'm going to just to thing before I conclude. I'm going to look how it sees. Plus at mod. And
Yeah, that should be right.
yeah.
Plus dex, plus proficiency, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it for the damage part. So I'm just adding so that it does the one. And then
Dexterity,
I'm
yeah.
going to see that it rolls. It rolls, and it rolls with the right
Yep.
things as well. Cool. So you roll a 15, and
Yep.
she walks up towards you, and like she is so close to you, and then you go to punch her, and you feel suddenly something in your armpit as you go to punch, and your arm just falls next to you, and you can't move it. And then she just looks you right in the eyes.
What
And then
bloody fuck did you do to me?
She lets her thumb like out of your armpit, and you feel how you can move it again, and she just steps back. Tanworth, you are able to move with it because you see it coming. So you were able to kind of move with it.
I just imagine the fist going like this, and right as it starts to jerk me, the arm just kind of goes, and I kind of catch myself moving forward.
Sarah.
I did say a call out that I was gonna try to
So since he's third in the place, you will have to kind of move around in a way, and then sure, but like by the time that you're at her, like she has stepped back and sees you coming as well. Okay, so you're just doing
try
that.
to taunt her.
Sure.
The judge is walking away with the papers too,
No, the
right?
judge isn't doing anything. He's just sitting here and seeing like all of this unfold. No, she doesn't remove your gag.
Can I get close enough to remove her gag?
Sure. The moment that you put your hands up to that, you hear the judge. If you remove her gag, I will cut your hands off before we hang you.
Question here.
Yes.
Because the judge is the one signing and delivering the papers here that he just signed off on, right?
He just slapped his hammer and said that you guys were guilty.
Slapped the hammer. Okay, cool. I kind of want to use the sickening stench feature from my class to cast Ray Sickness on the judge. And just have him start becoming violently ill over the papers. And be like, Elby needs medical attention.
I actually think that we're gonna TPK here because we're so stupid.
We can help him, please.
I kind of like that ability. Like instead of her dealing damage, like them just actually being sick. But
well,
this this normal thing that you're able to kind of produce and then cast, because it is a magical spell, it stops in your fingertips and you aren't able to shoot it out whatever. And these braces saps all four of you when magic is produced, and it's not a sap that deals any damage, but it's hurtful. And the judge like sees this and he just bonk 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 bonk, execution now. And the woman takes Oscar by his collar, lifts him up in front of her, and just starts backing up and dragging all of you with her. And then more or less like just does a little yeet of Oscar so he lands on his feet. And then
Hey, I'm gonna lie down.
sure.
I'm just trying to make it harder for her
Sure.
to
I mean,
fool us.
I think it's harder for the other three.
Now, boy.
Yeah.
And Oscar's just kicking the entire
No,
time.
she would let you go. Either you will walk or reactivate the other function of this.
I'm walking. I've been don't shove these old bones.
Mm.
We
Sure,
can
it's very
make
silent.
you are sentenced to death. We can make things excruciatingly painful before you die. Or you can walk. If you walk, we'll take off your gag and you can say your final piece. Otherwise, it stays on.
Yeah, do I get a vote if her gag stays on? No, no.
Do you stand up? Okay. As you
Kinda
stand up, you feel how they remove the gag. And as it's like about to fall off, now, don't make me regret this, and put it on you again. And he removes it.
You're just proving my point about you buggerheads in authority.
Exactly. I mean, these guys
This
got
way.
they got their fucking proof. You didn't prove anything at all.
We proved very specifically that you are hunting without a license given
Yeah,
by the
who?
proper authorities.
Who? That's the
Do
thing.
we
I
need to
didn't
go
kill
and
anybody.
show the records of all the bounties that you have claimed? Because they exist, and we know of them.
Well,
There. Now follow me. And he walks out the eastern door. And as he opens it, it leads you into another corridor with several doors. And the woman goes behind you. And if anybody starts to slack, you feel like her 2, 3, 4 fingers in your back and just pushing you forward.
Joshua slacks in the start, like he doesn't
Yeah.
get going. Like he's very like quiet and then like when he starts going, body just keeps going.
Mm-hmm. After several rooms and doors and corridors, you see how the last door is opened up into a courtyard. You are surrounded with black walls, and only a small part of the sun shines down. And there's only one thing in this courtyard, and that is gallows for 5 people. It's a simple staircase up, several, if needed, crates to stand on, and you see the lever and how the doors would open underneath it. On one of these next to the lever, you see a man in a very typical executioner with a black hood, black clothes on him, and he looks at you, and you're pushed forward.
fucking pieces of shit. I could have just fight me if that's what you're gonna do. Don't fucking slaughter us like animals. We can fucking fight you.
Charles chuckles aside to Josh.
Imagine if they had 6 people and they had to hang 5 of them, and one of them just had to sit there and wait for the end. Doesn't seem very, doesn't seem very practical.
It's a very good joke, but Joshua
You-
unfortunately doesn't respond at all.
No, you can take a D8, Ben. You actually, you probably hear like a bit of a snort in front of you, and like, oh, that would be horrendous. We would never do that.
Yeah, with no response from Joshua. He's basically
Yeah.
just like looking, and like you can see sort of shallow breathing and looking at the gallows and just basically like not having to be like dragged by the person in front, like not
Mhm.
resisting but not moving on his own.
Yeah.
I'm resisting the
Yeah,
fuck out of
meanwhile-
this shit.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
you
meanwhile,
guys
Oscar went
stop,
from-
you feel these two powerful hands in your backs pushing you forward by this woman.
Well, I'm not. I am trying to fight
Yeah.
all of it.
You,
Oscar is just
Yep.
hyperventilating at this point.
you suddenly feel something that you can't resist, how your minds are boggled and how you are losing sense of your bodies and what is reality and what isn't, and you are suddenly much more lenient to listen, and your bodies just don't listen to what your mind is saying, and you're being pushed up the steps.
Oscar is just full on panicking. Like his
Yeah.
body doesn't show it because clearly it's being
Mm-hmm.
coerced. But
Yes.
yeah, he's
I think Joshua was sort of like same there, like sort of hyperventilating internally, just being very, very afraid, and essentially just like rambling. Maybe a couple of prayers from Serpanthia, but it's just very incoherent and just like no, oh no, yeah, just
Yeah.
eyes everywhere.
As you're led up to the gallows, they have you stand just enough length apart for the shackles to reach.
Is there like someone who's going to read out the sentence or anything?
No, there's only the executioner and these two.
The
Okay.
executioners have hoods on them,
Mhm.
or
The executioner and what to?
The man who came and fetched you and the woman with the side cut. The man walks up behind you and puts the nooses over your heads, tightening it. And the only thing that you can see is a tiny bit of light kind of hitting half of your heads and kind of showcasing that, you know, head and noose is in the lights, and then the rest of your body is in the darkness. He steps back and then walks down and looks at all of you.
Can I speak?
You can speak. It's just that your bodies aren't really listening to your
Okay.
actions.
Please, you. I'm Wilkin. Please don't.
Do you think your family names matters when you are breaking the laws of the kingdom?
Yeah, well, I assume the family
I
names
see.
the nobles that break the laws. That matters too, right?
No.
This whole justice system goes round in circles for everyone involved, right? Of course not. Who am I kidding?
Now, you have all been sentenced according to the laws of the Ortswickian kingdom. Your sentence shall be... Fuck, what's it called? Utförd.
Death by
carried
hanging?
out.
Carried out as death by hanging at noon, the 13th of spring, which is
How
today.
overhead is the sun at this point?
It is
Noon.
noon.
Oscar is just full on panic. Can I use my subclass thing and shroud myself in shadow? Just in darkness.
No abilities work. The key has been stopped as well. And as you try, you hear the creaking of the lever as the executioner pulls at it.
I was gonna say, my hands are like in front of me, right? How are our hands currently?
Your hands would be like, because you guys are so stretched, like your hands are held at your waists and out from you, and you
Okay,
can't
so we're all
move it.
still manacled
You are
together.
all still manacled together, and it looks like the floor opens entirely beneath you.
Oh,
As the pull lever, like he's been like sort of muttering it very quietly, but when it like when he falls, like I'm sorry, and just like
And you hear that, and the doors underneath your feet open, and you fall 1 foot, 2 foot. Time stops almost as you can see the ground nearing and how the noose around your necks are tightening. And just as you are all expecting to hear the cracks of your necks, your feet stop falling. And you hear and you see in front of you how the man is kind of holding his hands up, magic seeping out from him, holding you all afloat. And the woman steps up. Now you're all officially dead, you filthy fucking maggots, criminal scums. And as you're now officially dead, you are property of the crown. You are now mine to do what I wish with, and you will listen to me until I am done speaking. And if you don't, I will make sure that you know that you would rather have been dead today than have to deal with the wrath of me. My name is Lyra Sparrow, and you will call me Captain Sparrow. Nothing else, ever. No, I'm just kidding.
okay.
we have heard of you.
It is a pirate. That's not a pirate. It's more.
Yes. That's an intel to Lynn. To Lynn, to Ben, that we've been doing it. No. You will call me Captain Lyra. And should you address me as anything else, you will be faced with the back of my hand until you know your place. Now, you are all aware of the underbellies of cities. You're all shitty criminals, having been caught like this, doing petty crimes, but nothing too evil for us to have to deal with. Now, this city... She looks to you and walks up to you.
I keep my mouth shut as soon as it.
Yeah. She walks up to you and like she does a motion like above your head. The ropes are all cut and you're like slowly lower down. And then she backhands you across the face. And your neck just like up. And you just feel like, that one joint in your neck that's been stuck for a long time, being, old and waking up a little bit weird.
Oh, thank you.
Suddenly feeling like, oh, that's nice. And then like the pain of the backhand just throbs. And she takes another step back. As I was saying, I am the captain of the Veiled Corps, a special ops team within the Vale that is working within the shadows, and sometimes with criminal scum, who still has a chance for... Fuck, what's the word? When...
Cooperate?
Rehabilitation, I think.
Ah.
Redemption is a better word for it, yes. Redemption. Now, these black braces, and she pulls out like very thin black braces and puts them on your hands, represent your oath to the crown for not killing you for the crimes that you have committed. They will be removed once you have paid us back, and only then will they be removed. And until then, you will do our bidding, and our bidding is as such that you will give us information, and you will do tasks sometimes for us. There's a storm brewing within Vale, something terrible, something dark and disgusting is festering within our city, and you filthy criminals, are going to do exactly what it is that you did before. Bad criminal acts but this time sanctioned. You won't die.
There's like things happening. Yeah, no shit, mate.
She walks up to you and just puts her hand on your shoulder. Let me finish, or I can put you back in that noose.
Back in the nose.
Why did I get slapped for somebody? Whisper
You
over to them.
feel like the thumb and the finger like press into your arm.
We're still manacled, right?
You are.
Hmm.
Can we move
That's
our
it.
hands or?
You can, but
Yeah.
it's barely.
Yeah, because like as soon as the rope is cut off, just start clawing like
Yeah.
at the rope, and just like attempting to throw it away. Probably not
Yeah,
succeeding.
you do get it off at some time. Like you claw and you get it, and like you remove like the one part and you get it off your necks.
Just look at it and just ventilate and like almost barely not even listening to her, but still like every once in a while.
Is it a beating that you want, Oscar? To understand that you are nothing but a maggot, a cockroach. You have nothing. And she like steps back and she motions to the what is probably a magician behind her, who sighs. You know, this is the sigh of a man who has seen this several times before. And he just nods, and you feel how your manacles are loosened and they pop off you. Go then. Hit me, if you can. Filth.
When I cast,
It's not
sickening-
you. It's only for
Okay.
Oscar
Oh,
that
only
it goes
for
off.
him.
Okay.
Okay.
Decisions.
Yeah, decisions. Holy shit.
I promise you, I won't do anything to you except beat you up. I need you alive. But I'll teach you a lesson just like the fucking filth you are.
So the manacles are off, right?
The manacles are off.
Oscar's crossing his arms. And I'm casting silence.
Sure.
And then I'm just backing and just not like it's not like an attack, but I'm just gonna slap her.
Sure.
Like not hard, just slap her.
You can roll me an attack.
Lame.
Love tap.
Just a regular attack,
Yeah.
or do I do the unarmed
No,
strike?
roll
thing?
me an unarmed strike because it's just for, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. You go to slap the back of her hand, or you know, to kind of slap her. She, like a very experienced brawler, brushes your hand away, ducks, comes up and gives you an uppercut in your jaw. You
Ooh.
take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as she punches you.
Holy shit. Okay.
I burst out laughing.
Oh, you don't laugh because it's silent around.
Yeah, well, I stand there and
I mean, I was just trying. Honestly, I was trying.
Yeah,
to go
but
to her
no,
and
you
like,
see her. Like, you see the fire in her eyes. And then as she's giving you this uppercut, she takes her hand around your neck and pushes your face down into her knee. And you take another 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
shit. I am this close to being unconscious.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming that you fall down laying there, and she like goes to punch you a third time and stops the punch just a second, like a millimeter away from your face. And she just looks at you.
I'm gonna drop silence if I can.
You can. It's not a continuous thing. Now know your fucking place. As she takes you, and as she like raises you up, you feel energies pouring into your body. Your nose stop bleeding, and you hear a of your face as the nose kind of gets popped back into place, and you're healed for all of the damage that you took. As she just pops you back on your place,
Damn it.
and then let's go.
that was fucking hot. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Captain.
Wait, I gotta check. That
I was gonna lie and I was gonna be like, I have some magic to heal him. Would
Yeah.
you undo my manacles? And then I was gonna try to make her poop her armor.
Yeah.
With sickenings.
She pulls you close, like nose against nose, and she just growls, "I own you." And then let's go. And steps back.
I'm so not happy.
Yeah, no, this
Meanwhile,
is.
I'm standing right next to it
Yeah.
and just smiling. I'm just so fucking happy at the moment.
I have so many issues with the situation as it is currently.
Understandable.
So many.
She kind of looks at you all. Now, with that out of the way, and you understanding that you are, again, nothing but filth underneath my feet that I could smite should I want to. Good. I understand
yes,
this
Captain.
is a very weird situation. And we are sorry for having to brought you to your niece, your taste, the edge of your
Senses?
the edge of your senses almost breaking you down. She kind of points to this one side of the courtyard, which you haven't really paid attention to because of how ominous the gallows were. But there is a pit there. There were many before you that weren't given the opportunity to live after their crimes. And we needed to make sure that your crimes weren't too big, that your senses weren't filled with murder and viciousness, and that you would, in the end, be able to do what is right, even though your ways to what is right might be different from other law-abiding citizens. As I already said, there is something within this city growing, festering, people disappearing, returning with curses and other vile magics attached to them. Source is unknown, power unknown, and we do not have the right people in the right places, and that is why we need people like you.
Yeah.
Shut your whore mouth. You aren't above the law, but as I said before, no judge will sentence you to death unless given my my acknowledgement. Nobody else except me and my friend knows about you. The officers of the streets are going to act accordingly, and you will be allowed to do just what you would do on another daily basis. Bribe people, run away from them should you need to, but should your crimes be heinous, and should your crimes be unforgivable, should you murder for the joy of it, should you take things from people who need it, we will find out, and I will come and hunt you down. But so long as you are doing everything that you are doing for the good of the crown, and she says that extremely sarcastically, you are allowed to do it. But should you murder any of my officers, unless they are proven to be corrupt, again, I will find you. But I will say this. If you were to murder somebody that is doing something vicious and bad, nobody is going to bat an eye. Should you steal from a nobleman without getting caught, well, good for you. You have just landed coin in your pockets. Should you ignore a direct order from me, I will take your heads. Now please follow Jeremy and get yourselves cleaned up, and we're going to give you back the gear that you had that is still intact, because some of this was indeed extremely filthy and what's the word? Like not degrading as in the decrepit?
Decayed.
Decayed. We will outfit you with what we have in the armory, and then we'll let you loose with a bit of extra coin. And she like turns, and Jeremy kind of nods, kind of looks to you. He walks up to you first, Oscar, and kind of just looks at your nose. May I? It's gonna heal poorly if I don't. Oh,
You need
please.
to break it again.
I need to break it again.
I'm gonna punch myself in the nose.
You punch yourself in the nose, and then
Yeah, I'm gonna break it.
Yeah, you break your nose,
Yep.
and he then just takes his two hands and just cracks it back in place again, and then like takes out from his pack, a very satchel-y thing, like two wads of cotton, and just up into your nose.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. And then he kind of walks to first you, Joshua.
And like when he steps close, I guess like I move my head and
Yeah.
like look up. Like
Listen, and he looks to you as well, Charles, as he says that. Could we just leave the magic out of this for now?
Oh yes, I only have that one party trick.
sort of just slight shake, nod. Yeah.
He puts his hand on you, and you feel this warmth kind of pressing into you. But it is a spell, and you can choose to fail it, or you can choose to accept it.
Just fail it. Yeah, fail it.
Yep. And the moment you do, all your worries disappear as he casts calm emotions on you.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like snaps his fingers, and all of the manacles are removed, but they stay afloat. And then they gather themselves into one single manacle, and he takes it and puts it in his satchel. This way.
Stand up and like start moving along with the rest of the group.
Yep.
Oh, that's the most excitement I've had in years.
Yes.
Oh,
Quite
And-
experienced. Sure.
I told you it'd be an adventure coming with your Uncle Charles, didn't I?
I did.
And Oscar just punched
do.
Charles in the shoulder, like not
Yeah.
even like playfully, just straight up a punch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see what's the problem, Lou.
Weren't you the one like sobbing, tears running down your face, like having a
Oh,
problem? about-
the pain, the
That's
pain of your
poetic
nose is
justice
too
right
much. Yeah.
there. Yep.
I think we should probably have. Could we all just make a con check? Yeah, I was gonna see. I think that some of you probably peed your pants.
I was gonna say yes, definitely, and maybe even the other one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very.
I think so too.
I don't think I have to roll it. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
I feel for Charles, to be honest. I don't think that he would care too much, would he?
I think he's
Yeah, I
just kind
think-
of like,
yeah.
oh, fuck it at this point.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah.
I don't think that he
I'll
cared too
fuck
much.
it. As
Yeah,
soon as he saw he was in the Ebony Castle on stealing stuff, he was
Yeah.
just like,
yeah.
yeah, ain't nothing to worry about here. I'm fucked.
Yeah. You kind of say this that you're cool and such, and you just hear from the back of you all, and that's why your pants are as wet as they are, right?
Says to me?
Yeah, that's said to you after you're trying to act cool.
That no, I'm fine.
Oh, I want to make an inappropriate joke.
There's a reason I stopped hiring her a few years ago, Joshua. She's a bit cracked with that.
Yes.
I look at you, Charles. I'm super pissed at you.
Oh, I'm like whispering this like
Yeah, he's
outside of
whispering.
it.
You don't have good enough perception. You're not Cohen this time around,
I
where
know.
he hears everything.
I know.
Bring creditors in.
You're led up to just the wall of the Ebony Castle as you look up this 180 or some feet tall, dark, looming spectacle of creation. And there's no door, but Jeremy just kind of waves his hand, and suddenly there is this very simple oaken door that he opens, and you step in through. As you step into this, you see several chairs comfortable divans and sofas, a table with refreshments, everything from cheese and ham and some very probably simple alcohol to some cupcakes and meatier foods, and they kind of just gestures to it. You can take whatever it is that you need. I'll go and fetch your gear. Just take a seat.
Thank
That's
you.
quite a handy door they had there. Did you see that, Oscar? If we had that when we were trying escape,
I
Paul had an
munched
easy
down.
time.
Oh, that would have been useful.
I wonder what the mechanisms behind it is. Sort of look at
Magic.
the
Just
door.
He
illusion
says
magic.
before he moves.
Yeah.
It's
Ah,
just
thank you.
illusion magic. I'm fairly certain you have some of that, don't you?
Yes, but not something that complex.
Now,
It's
do you have any questions for me? She says as she's like pouring herself a glass
Oh.
Oh, I thought that was a DM question.
and drinks, and then looks over to you, Violet. Yes.
No, nothing important. Not to you, Captain. So,
Nods.
well, I
or
think
actually, I do. Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. So, how is it gonna work? Like, are you gonna contact us somehow whenever you kind of need, you know?
You don't need to worry about the specifics.
Okay.
So now that we are officially dead, I'm assuming that means that we are not allowed to contact anybody that we once knew of any kind of at all. Do we need new identities per se? Dashing code names and such.
I think we could pick up.
She looks at you as if though you forgot something, Charles.
Captain Lara, I have a.
Oh, Captain Lauer, yes.
Yes.
My apologies.
No, you're dead in the records, meaning that I can kill you whenever I want without any repercussions because you are already officially dead. Now, I don't care what you do. You can contact whoever you want, be it that whore that you slept with 14 years ago in the small city of Terret. And
my.
she looks at you, and this is like something that happened, and it's like, how the fuck does she know that?
Well, my character's gay, so
It's
on you for assuming it was a woman.
Oh, that person you slept with.
Or
Did you say? Did he just say
gender-neutral
whore?
term?
Or perhaps be it that time that you advocated for the removal of the feudal monarchy. And she looks to Oscar. I know everything that you have done, and that is why I have let you live. Because I believe that you aren't as bad as the records state. Again, you may do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But the only one thing that you would really have to do is listen to me and do what the fuck I say.
Oh, you got it.
I believe we are
What's
most
your
great
goal?
to be alive, Captain Lyra. And my question is more if we have. You spoke of assignments, and if you have perhaps the first assignment for us, so we can
No.
prepare. And well, thank you very much for.
What's your goal in all of this?
You don't need to worry about that. As I said, there is something within Vale that I simply can't stand, and it is spreading itself, and I want to stop it, and you are going to help me do so. Now, if I find out that
Syphilis.
you are useless, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to
Kill
put you
them.
back in that noose, and I'm going to hang you properly.
And if one of us is useless, do all of us go in the pit, or just
Yes.
the useless one?
What?
You are a team now, bound by actions and fates.
With them?
And if you don't like that, I will put you back in that noose right now.
No. It'll be fine. We'll get along quite nicely, I believe.
Yeah.
And like you hear the door kind of creep open and say, I hear that you're being nice to the initiates and explaining the role to them. You see like Jeremy coming with like a pulley and that like a cart, like a small, handheld cart, and puts it in front, and you see like all of your gears are there, and you also see how he kind of goes out the room and comes in with another one, and there's like some very simple gear for like weapons and armor there as well. So basically, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get anything that is crucial for your character, such as arcane focus or holy focus. You're gonna get one or two weapons and the shittiest armor there is, and then you're gonna be able to get also a small coin pouch. But we're gonna take that in a bit, as we are going to go to a quick break here at the halfway time. So thank you very much, people, and we'll see you in a bit. And yes, we're back. Hello, people. And we are going to proceed for about maybe 20, 30 minutes more until we end today, just to let these lovely officially dead peeps get their bearings. So you're sitting in this room as Jeremy comes in and deals out some gear to all of you. You get just enough to kind of scrape by. And then lastly, you see how Lyra stands up like she's sitting with feet on table and everything. Stands up and then looks at all of you. So, you're geared up. Now you can fuck off. And you can find the lonely darling down in the MA ward. And there you will talk to the tavern keeper. And she'll hand you a small pouch of coins, a room for the night. And that's that.
Cool.
The what ward?
Thank you.
Oh,
The MA ward. It's up to the northeast from here. Now, should you leave, or want to leave, should I say, the Kingdom of Ortwick, just notify the tavern keeper. She'll know what to do. If you have any pressing news, you talk to her. Do you need to get in contact with any of us? Due to pressing needs, you talk to her. Should we deem that your needs aren't as necessary as you thought they were, well, you won't be getting any payment. Of course, we're going to pay you for what you're doing. How else are we going to assume that you're going to make sure that you get shit done? Now,
Glory.
she kind of gesticulates to the door. Kindly fuck off.
I walk.
So yeah, so like,
Can I make a perception to see if I can see anything in the room?
Sure. I mean, there's probably like some glass goblets or some cutlery that you can take, but on your way to the door, there isn't anything, so you would have to kind of go out of your way to take something, and then
I'll just wait before we leave the castle. There's probably a good bit of stuff that we'll encounter on the way down.
you sure?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. So you go to the doors, and as you step through them, you feel a slight zap, and you find yourselves in the middle of the streets of Vale outside the castle.
again, that's very neat.
I hate that. Hate it.
Sort of like look back, like.
You see these beautiful purple-black flags. Fluddra. What do you call it?
Wave.
Fluttering.
Wave fluttering is probably the
Flapping.
word I was flapping. Can you say that? Yeah, you can say that about flag, right? It's flapping. Yeah, in the spring breeze. That is the word. Somebody did something. Ah, somebody's following us. Hey, thank you very much.
Yay!
Now, you see again this 180-ish feet tall castle, and behind it is the river floating through. It is there's two bridges that kind of cut off the flow, but from the middle bridge and westward, there's a lot of boats that comes up, and the Altwickens actually have a smaller navy situated here as well that is allowed to kind of go out on the river and then into the glittering bay, and it's a very fortified positions with walls sticking out into the river as well. It's going to be so much easier for me to show you all this next week when we have a map that is actually finished rather than now. But looking to the west of you, you see a set of tall buildings, all ivory white, which is part of the coin quarters. If you go past that, you will pass by the inner slums, and then you can take the eastern bridge up into the MA ward, where you can cut up by the first bridge, and then cut across from there as well.
So are we like next to the castle right now?
You are outside the
Or-
castle on the southern street, yes.
I'm gonna kick the wall of the castle, just
Yeah, you kick it and
Just
it
because.
hurts your foot.
Well, perhaps we should
obviously. Mhm.
get going. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather not stay here if we can carry on our way. And
Yeah.
there was coin waiting, so we might as well leave this
You know.
place.
Hey, dude. What's your name?
Oh, how silly of me. Well, I am Joshua, and this is my uncle Charles.
Now the effects of
Oh.
calm emotions are kind of getting off, and you
fading, yeah.
see probably still that
Sort of like trailing off, like
Violet
like,
has,
yeah.
because you haven't said that you take it off, so you still have your noose around your neck.
What?
You
Yeah.
didn't say that you took the noose off, and
Oh.
neither did
Oh,
Charles.
I remove it now.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did. I said
Okay.
back there. I said
Okay.
I would have taken
Austin
it.
still has it on
dropped
his
behind me
hand,
as
which
well.
is
Yeah.
a bit concerning, and like moving away a bit from you, like unconsciously mostly, and like not looking at it.
So you're related to him. Ah,
Oscar's
well,
just like fidgeting with it.
fun.
well, like you should like see me like looking at it every once in a while, like just looking in your direction, and so like moving a bit away from you and like turning to not see it. Well, you know, relative. Well, there are other bonds than those of blood. It's more it is almost like a family. I'd say even more.
You know
actually,
what?
but,
You know what? And I'll wrap my arm around you and just start walking with you
Yeah.
along my side and just
Yeah.
you know what? Family and stuff like that. Blood does not matter one fucking bit.
Yeah. When you do that, I definitely check to make sure that I'm not being pickpocketed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just like
well,
holding
yeah.
your hand on her arm to make sure that
Yeah.
it's not somewhere else
Like,
where it
yep.
shouldn't be.
Don't
Yeah.
have that much on me anyways, but it's like more like
Yeah.
instinctual, like, yep, keep it over there.
You
Ah,
hear
you're
like
right,
from
you're right.
above you guys, like, move on. No dwindling outside the gates, please.
That's
My
for all
God.
move. Thank you very much. And so like turn around as the two of us
Yes.
are walking,
Oh,
turning
Joshua.
around a bit. Yes, Violet.
Yeah. What's your deal?
My deal? Well,
Yeah.
we just
Like
got
who are you?
free. Well, I'm Joshua. I think it's a fairly easy conclusion. What else would you have me? I am who I am. I cannot be more than that. I cannot be less. Who are you, Violet?
I'm Violet. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
see, we are in agreement. There is an accord
Yeah.
here.
like okay, so this is gonna blow your mind, but
I'm fascinated to have my mind blown at all times. New
Yeah.
information and knowledge
Yeah.
always fascinates me.
I'm going to be so fucking great. So it's awesome that you're standing with me because we're gonna make history. Or, yeah. It's
I
gonna be
like your
cool.
positive outlook.
I
don't
know,
we'll make
right?
history, but at least we've
Yes.
with our lives.
Trust me, we're gonna make history. No question about it.
If you
That
say so.
old man, maybe he won't last all the time. Sorry to put it so bluntly, but he is kind of old. How old is he?
I think he would surprise you with his spryness. I
Ugh.
think he puts on a show almost. He surprised more people than me and you, I would say.
Oh, yeah, I have heard. Anyway, separate yourself from this dude. You're not him, right? Yeah,
Of course I'm
you're
not him.
Joshua.
I told you,
Exactly.
yes.
We're gonna have so much fun, you and me.
Well, we
It's
can't
gonna be
really
amazing.
separate because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Captain Lyra was pretty clear on that point.
Yeah, that's true.
We should all work together.
This-
I agree. We should all be. I like the role.
That's really cool.
Nice.
That's really cool.
This just feels like someone trying to flirt with someone who's asexual and just
We're-
doesn't get it.
Yeah, we're
separate the people.
outside the
Yeah.
Ebony Castle now, right?
You are outside the Ebony Castle.
Okay. What time is it?
Now it would be maybe 1, 2 p.m.
Can I make a perception check? Like,
I
or
assume
at
you're
least it might
walking,
be based
walking.
on passive perception. I hear of. I guess where we're going. If anybody has a accessible coin purse that we walk by.
Sure.
I've
You
just
can roll me a perception.
Trying up. Okay.
Station gets him.
I mean,
I mean,
we literally.
I will
have,
just
you know-
reiterate that you were told that you're going to get some money, and also that the guards will deal with you as they will if you do get caught.
Yeah.
So, you know,
We don't have a
Maybe
license
good
to
way
commit
to have
crime.
money because these guards up in like this area, like Charles would know, are like bribed like a mofo.
not in the castle. Absolutely
Not
not.
because- Is this not considered
Not
the
in the
Emir Ward
castle.
yet, or is this
No,
strict-
no. Emir Ward is still some ways off. We're in the coin quarter now, which is
Okay, we're
all
in
the
the coin
white collar folks
Okay,
who,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Got it.
So you do see a lot of money, but it's also most people are like, yeah. And you also know that in the Emir War, people are walking with bodyguards at all time, specifically because it's almost like a competition in the Emir War to steal shit from each other. So you always have people guarding you and your coins if you're moving a lot of coin, because otherwise it's more or less of a death sentence where there would be these ruffians who come out and club you and then take your money, because that's just how it is there.
Hey.
Would they also have like pretend to have a lot of money? Like, oh, they hire 10 guards instead of 5, and then they don't have that much money to transport. But it's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at me, I have 10 guards, I have so much money.
Yeah, perhaps there might be some, but I think it's very practical in that part, at least, of the city. So you cross over the river. There's quite a lot of people currently out and about, with there being a decently warm day. It is the first properly warm day of the year, and the sun is just soaking. No, what's it called? Swedish today is so much better than English.
Yeah,
I don't know why. My brain is just
One of
fried.
those days,
I'm the
yeah.
same way with my streams on Mondays. I just
Yeah,
completely
so,
block. You're
uh,
soaking in the sun?
You are, but the sun isn't soaking. The sun is making
but-
you soak in it. That's a different sentence. Anyways, you're walking through the city and you are crossing over the river, and you hear these mechanisms almost underneath the river. You hear very large, like, you know how turbines work in dams? Like, you have the water come down and then it moves and then it produces electricity because of that. And there's a similar contraption underneath this bridge, where on the eastern side the water is very high and then on the western side it's much lower, and it is going in and creating something underneath it, whatever that is. Always been there, always made a lot of noise. Nobody knows really what the fuck it does, but it's there. You cross over the bridge and there's this like town crier that's like, ring dicka dicka ding, civil war still on the roots of breaking up the Holy Darien Dominion. The Morianese are mating with goblins.
Ew.
And he just like keeps going, and you see like whenever he says like the Morianese are mating with goblins, people like flock around and buy the papers, and he just like produces more and more, and seems to be getting quite a lot of coin. You
Criminal.
you
No taste.
cross over the bridge and see to the east of you the Emir Ward as the park, and park lane is kind of stretching around it. And for most of you that like when you come to the city, this is like where you have felt that you kind of belong. Like, this is where the underbelly of the city isn't the underbelly, but up on the streets. And it's almost though like there's a smaller nation within this city where you're allowed to do what the fuck you want as long as you have the money and connections. Nobody's really going to bother you in the Emir Ward. So as you step through the foliage that kind of surrounds Park Lane, and then, which is the outskirts of this ward, you feel like though you're stepping into another city or nation, dimension almost. The atmosphere, the sound, the smells, everything is so vastly different. Now, you've all spent time here, but not enough to know where this lonely darling is.
We were told it's the Emir Ward.
You were, but
So-
the Emir Ward is quite large, like most things.
A lot of
And
difference.
I see if I can remember, since I've been here for probably like 5, 6
You
years.
don't
been
know.
I'll just march right up to
make a
somebody.
check to see if I've heard of it.
As said, you don't know. That is why it is weird.
I'll just march up to somebody and just, hey,
Sure, you walk up to somebody and immediately daggers are drawn. Stay away.
oh, yeah, cool. Just a question. I ain't gonna do anything. All right, so,
I didn't say I'll fucking listen to your question.
well, okay then. Bye. And I walk.
Is the town crier still there?
That was on the bridge
Okay,
a
yeah,
way
yeah,
bit
yeah,
back.
yeah. Is there anyone who doesn't pull out knives?
I'm gonna look because there's kind of a lot of taverns and things. If there's anybody who's kind of slumped up, maybe outside with the bottle, you know, looking like they're by themselves and they're just kind of them and their drink right now.
Sorry, say that again.
I want to see if there's anybody, you know, like outside of the taverns, maybe just up against the wall, just kind of them and their drink.
Yeah,
Just-
you would see a couple of people sitting in the park. And the park is also such a weird thing. Like, the park is its own thing. Like, you don't bother people in the park, really. It's even though they're sitting there and they're having a nice picnic and it would be easy to go up and steal the money, people in the park are left alone. It's like bad sport to deal with them. So usually they are more friendlier there. And then, of course, you have the tavern drunks that would probably tell you whatever the fuck you want for a small coin. And you see, like, the Emerald has hundreds of taverns all over the place. So you can see in between the alleyways, there's, you know, people standing with their heads against their arms against and just puking and peeing at the same time. Generally being, you know, in the middle of the day, of course, as drunk as you can.
Yeah, those are the people, the ones that are looking a little bit more, you know, cognizant and able to hold a conversation, not, you know,
Okay,
passed
sure.
out, puking out their guts of.
You see a
Walk up
person being chucked out of a tavern and does like a roll more or less, but fails it. So he just like actually just rolls and continues rolling and then like stops and just lays there and like, fuck. And just like brushes himself off, stands up and looks at you. The fuck are you looking at?
Yeah, well, you good gentlemen, I was going to see if you needed a hand. Do you have a moment of your time? It seem as though you're in a predicament. I just have a quick question for you.
Is he speaking fucking common or what?
Well, I would be speaking Altwiki, probably.
Sure. So if you're speaking alt-wiki, like even though then like you're using very big words, and this man is looking at you rather confused, and then be like, "Yeah, I like that you mute yourself, Sarah, to speak."
I just pushed, I was gonna say Ben, but no, I pushed Charles aside and just, yeah.
Merry bunch of
So,
fucks. What do you want?
yeah, I know, right? So early in the day. Whatever. Do you know what was it called?
The Lonely
A
Darling.
mere ward.
The Lonely Darling is.
Roll me a d20, please, Mr. Benjamin.
Sure. Just straight D20?
Yep, just straight a d20.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I love the sound of them
Or-
hitting, like very like metallic. He kind of looks at you and like, no, piss off.
Cool, yeah, piss off, you too. Go back to puking. Sloppy drunk. I'll just pass.
He like looks at you and he's like, he just got tossed out. There was no puking, there was no sloppiness, and he's just like standing there like, aren't insults meant to reflect you as a person? And he's like, well, you can fuck off. I can see your bald spot.
Ugh.
I have a bald spot.
Well, look yourself in the back of your head.
Okay, yeah. You want to go
He
right
runs.
now? Yeah.
He runs.
What?
Yeah, he runs.
From me?
No, away.
Away.
What?
He
You
insulted
turned
you and then he-
around and you're being threatening. He runs.
I don't don't have a bald spot, do I? No, I fucking cover it up.
Roll me a wisdom saving. I love that. Take a
1d4
d6 of
psychic
inspiration.
damage.
I don't have a bald spot. I covered it up.
Oh my
God.
god, my wisdom save is horrible.
The tavern is called the Lonely Darling, Mr. Ben.
Why did I roll a wisdom save?
That was because for it to get in your head, but when you said that, you covered it up and you were already aware of it, it's just more fun. It was so you're standing here, middle of the day, in the wood that you've spent a lot of time in, and even so, none of you have heard about this fucking tavern. You don't have any money to pay people to tell you where the fucking tavern is, and you eventually end up just walking around, talking, finding these people, and eventually you are directed to the center part of the ward, which is a bit finer. And that is probably why none of you have actually been there. Because that's where a lot of the clout and money of this ward is. And as you kind of step through the foliage into the center, you see nice, beautiful fountains, very large houses. And like almost all of these large houses are taverns, they're brothels, they're gambling dens. And on the outside, it looks so pristine and perfect. And like most of the windows are boarded up, so no light can be shown inside. You see the secret signs, especially the two of you that speak Thieves' Cant, about like what is sold and purchased at different places. And eventually you find one of these larger buildings. Seems to be a 3-story building in stone and then a clay-tiled roof that's shining nicely in the sun. And the windows aren't boarded up here. Rather, the door is open and you hear beautiful music being played outside. It's very calm for the ward, very different. And it's like, the fuck is this place? You kind of look through the open door and you see there is no roof. There is rather these, like center part is open, all floors up, and you see several doors kind of sitting so you can look down. And in the center part in the midst, you see currently a large piano and harp standing and being played together. And most of the patrons in here are drinking like very calmly, talking rather like nicely. And then, they see you for walking and everything just like, you hear the jacking off the record, where the music stops and everybody's just like, and you see like the barkeep, a regal woman in her late 40s, early 50s, kind of look over to you, and she like eyes you, and then she kind of like nods a little bit, sighs to herself, and kind of waves you over.
Hey, how you doing? Hey.
Lean a little closer to Charles, like, this doesn't seem like a seedy place for clandestine operations, but it's
Why was you talking like that?
what do you mean?
I'll
She like claps her hands and the music starts playing again, and she like nods as like she looks at you.
Hey.
Hey there, my name is Celine. I am the tavern keeper, hostess of this. She kind of takes your hand, and she takes it like properly in like a very Emir way. And,
I hold it firmly.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, there was a... she kind of points over to one of the tables at the end, and you see this robust man in his probably what is only 30s, but looks like he is going to die any day from obesity and just general bad hygiene. Not hygiene, but he looks... yeah.
Better as Harkonnen.
Yeah. That man has a lot of money, and money can buy you anything, including a calm afternoon at the Lonely Darling. Now, don't you worry, we'll be back to normal in the morrow.
Sorry, what?
You were talking about this not looking like a place off. And he looks to you guys and like, we don't need to repeat that. And I'm just telling you that it normally doesn't look like this, but money buys whatever you want. Especially when it's, and she like from her like hand, almost though like, you know, very sleight of handy, shows you a gold fucking coin, which is 1,000 silver. And then she like removes it and, you know, opens her hand. It's like, oh, it's gone.
Can you perception check to see if it was a real coin?
Sure.
Yeah. I've
Maybe
seen
it's
sleight of
for-
hand before.
Respect.
Oh, yes, it was real.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming that Lyra is the one that's
Yeah.
sent you.
Yes, Captain Lyra.
Yeah, TBF.
She, underneath the counter, kind of pulls out 5 smaller pouches. Here you go. Pushes it
Thank
over.
you.
Now, there is a room on the topmost floor. It's nothing big. I had it refurbished from, well, cleaning room. But there's 4 beds in there, and you can sleep.
Perfect.
Oh. Right. Cool. Is there a fighting pit here or something?
Not
Nearby?
today.
Not today. Can you let me know when it is?
And she like looks up to the glass roof. 1 hour after sundown, so not long.
Sign me up.
No.
Please.
Do you have 3 Ethereum to pay the entrance fee?
I opened the bag of gold coin we got.
15 silver.
That's a no.
Well, I mean, why is it that expensive?
Because the winner takes home a gold coin.
How about if you let me enter and you take half of the winnings from the gold coin? Get it?
How about
50-50.
no?
30% to me, 70 to you?
I'm not going to sign up somebody who's going to get beaten into a pulp by the other contestants simply because you think you're good. Honey,
Have you
I've
seen
seen
these-
people like you come and go every single day. And I'm not about to put out for you simply because you're asking me. You have no clout. And to be fair, I also know where you just came from. So don't act so damn tough.
Okay, how about this?
No.
Speaking of where we came from, Celine,
Uh.
is it Miss or Mrs. or
Just Celine. This was nice.
Celine? Yes. Right. Considering the type of activities, should we perhaps in the future have these types of conversations up in this room you speak of, or is there a
I'm
code?
not setting
or...
my foot in that room. No. You will
So
come here and you will talk, and then I will decide whether or not it's appropriate to talk somewhere else.
It's a kink group
Absolutely. When should we, I guess, report in or see? Should we do it daily or weekly? We are.
If
of course,
Lyra
going to
hasn't
call.
told you, then I don't know. I unfortunately owe Lyra a favor, and thus I am doing her that favor. I'm assuming she said something about blah 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 important, death,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah
Yeah.
important.
I
Yeah.
don't know how much we are allowed to say what Captain Lyra said, but I think you know more than we do at this point. We're just.
That was word for word what she said, including all the blah blah blah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, you're disturbing the audience.
Yes.
Either go out or go up. An hour after sundown, things will work as normal. And the room is only being paid for the rest of the week. Then after that, you're going to have to pay with your own money or find another place to be. But
How
I
much is the
do suspect that you need to make sure that you are regulars here to not have it look weird if you ever come and.
how much is the room per night?
For you four, if you want to rent the attic, I suppose we can take anything like the other shitty taverns. So maybe 5 silver. 4.
Okay.
Was that the daily rate you said, or was it the weekly? Sorry, my ears still ringing a bit.
If you pay up front for a weekly rate, I'll say that you can pay me 18.
Thank you very much. Most gracious of you.
Well,
That math does not check out.
No, that is without food accounted and just for the room. If you want food, it's 25.
You said 5 silver
I
per
said
day.
4 after that, but you already started talking. 4 people, 7 days.
Fair enough. Then that math does check out.
Good. She kind of bids you to leave and vacate her general area as there's a few patrons behind her or behind you.
Yeah. Does she tell us like how to
Does
get
the
up to
room
the
have a-
attic, or
No
Does
key.
the room have a key? No
no?
key.
I mean, is it like do we have to go further into the tavern upstairs, or is it like a back way, out of
She
sight?
like points over to the staircase that you can see very clearly in one of the corners. That's like a spiral staircase.
Oscar's already walking.
Yeah.
he's like, just a little bow and then
Yeah.
back away.
So you walk up, and there's a few rooms here, and then you see there's this ladder to a trap door where it says where it's very obvious this is your place. Oscar probably
yeah.
walks up, pulls down the hatch, gets up, and there's 4 beds. You can't stand here. You'll have to sit on your ass or lie down, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I'm not going up there. Not yet, because fuck that.
Oscar is just climbing the ladder. He's
Yeah.
used to that. Used to it.
I mean, Joshua will also climb up.
Yeah. Even though you woke up in the morning, your bodies haven't had any actual rest.
Yeah.
So you're exhausted, your mind is all over the place, there's been a lot of things happening, and you're kind of feeling the exhaustion.
Yeah.
And there's also a very nice ending point, seeing you all kind of climb up there for today.
I wait a
Sure.
long while, and then
Yeah.
I'll begrudgingly go up and just like.
Very
Yeah.
metaphorical for us climbing out of the shit.
Climbing out of the shit. So with that being
Into
said,
attic-y shit.
we are going to end today's stream. This is the first episode of what is hopefully a long journey where these players are climbing their way out of the Underbelly of Vale into, well, whatever they want to do. Maybe they do become the queen later on, or maybe it's other things on the horizon, such as reforming the state of the government, or just finding a way to live another day with adrenaline through your veins, money in your pocket, and nice wine next to you.
Nice wedding bells.
I bid you all farewell, and
we're ready.
I'll see you